This cyberpunk clip did not start as a finished sci-fi short. It started with one story seed. In a cyberpunk neon city, memories are traded like software. A courier delivers a stolen memory chip. When he plays it, he sees himself being hunted by someone wearing his face. That was the whole beginning. No finished script. No storyboard. No character sheet. No video plan. So the question for this test was simple. Can one story idea move through the whole creative chain? Can it become a written story, then a comic, and finally a vertical animated scene? The first step was the story stage. I opened Run Jobs and went into Mochuan Novel Studio. What I expected was a normal AI writing tool. Give it a prompt, get a few paragraphs, maybe a chapter. But the useful part is that it does not jump straight into prose. It first tries to build the project around the story. The world, the conflict, the character direction, the hidden clues, and the chapter structure. In the recording, the story becomes a project, and the first chapter is called the package. That title fits the seed really well. Because the package is not just a delivery. It is the object that pulls the whole story open. A stolen memory chip. A courier who may not understand what he is carrying. A city where memories can be bought, copied, and edited. And then the strange part. The person hunting him has his face. This is where the idea starts to become more than a cool cyberpunk mood. It becomes a story engine. The tool gives the idea somewhere to grow, so the story does not collapse after one stylish paragraph. The second step was the comic stage. I moved from the novel project into Mochuan Comic. This part is important because a lot of AI comic workflows jump too fast from text to pretty images. Pretty images are not automatically comics. A comic needs sequence. It needs panel logic. It needs readable action. It needs the same character to still look like the same person on the next page. In the recording, the comic workspace starts by importing the novel. Then it analyzes the story and breaks it into a more visual structure. You can see the process moving through story outline, style direction, chapter script, character references, and costume references. That sounds less exciting than the final image, but it is actually the part that makes the output usable. The cyberpunk story needs a courier. It needs the memory chip. It needs wet neon streets, dark rooms, surveillance screens, and that uncomfortable feeling that identity can be copied. And most importantly, it needs the hunter. Someone who looks almost the same but feels wrong. Once those pieces exist, the comic is no longer just one prompt. It becomes a set of production assets. The model does not have to reinvent the world every time. It can keep returning to the same characters, the same locations, and the same visual tone. When the comic preview appears, the story has already changed shape. It is not just text anymore. Now it has panels, close-ups, speech bubbles, camera rhythm, and page flow. That is the second form. The seed has become a comic sequence. Then I pushed it one step further. Can this same story become a vertical animated drama? The third stage is Video Maker. Here the workflow feels less like asking for a single video and more like arranging a small director's desk. You create the project. You choose the visual style. You set the story, the episode structure, and the shot direction. Then the workspace gives you places for scenes, characters, assets, and shot prompts. In the recording, you can see the storyboard-like editor. There are shot blocks in the middle. There are assets and references on the side. And there is a vertical preview window for the generated result. This matters because video is not only about image quality. It is also about what each shot is supposed to communicate. Who is in the frame? Where are they standing? What is the camera doing? What should the viewer understand in the next few seconds? The final clips make the cyberpunk idea much more concrete. One clip becomes a first-person walk through a damaged corridor, with cold lights, cracked walls, and fire in the distance. Another clip shows a man in a white coat walking toward the camera, almost like the hunter or the duplicate finally stepping out of the story. That is the part one like. The same seed has now passed through 3 different languages. Written language, comic language, and video language. But I also want to be clear about the limits. This is not a one-click miracle. The story still needs judgment. The comic still needs visual review. The video shots still need adjustment. Character consistency can drift. The comic style and the video style may not match perfectly. And tiny text inside generated images is better treated as atmosphere, not real readable information. Now at least those steps can sit inside one connected workflow. That is why this RunJobs workflow is interesting to me. That is the path I wanted to test. And honestly, this story still has a good question left at the end. If someone is hunting you with your own face, which one of you is the original?